I've been wanting to post reviews of the port wine lodge tours available in Gaia for quite a while, and finally getting around to doing it. We're going to start with Sandeman's, which is it's one of the biggest names in port. It's one of the biggest locations of a port lodge along the Gaia waterfront. And when you do come to Porto, you can't miss the name, you can't miss the iconic branding of it, and you certainly can't miss it as you cross over the bridge to Gaia. But just because they know a thing or two about how to make a decent port, is a tour of their port wine lodge worth your time and money? Let's go find out.
Today we are in front of the port wine cellar of Sandeman. It is one of the most iconic brands in port wine, and it is a very enjoyable cellar tour. Initially I had my reservations about a Sandeman tour because it is one of the biggest names and it gets a lot of tour buses, large groups, and I was expecting a very conveyor belt type of experience. It was not that at all. It's a very enjoyable experience, and they do a very good job of keeping the flow going. You are not just stuck into this big long line of tour after tour after tour. The cellars are big enough that they're able to route groups in different areas. All the tours here are guided tours. You always have a knowledgeable guide with you explaining about the process of port wine production. Now, one thing I always recommend whenever you go to a port wine cellar tour and you have the option to do a premium tasting, you should always take that option. For Sandeman's, it is the 1790 room, and it's very small and cozy. I think it seats maybe 10 or 12 people. But by opting for a premium tasting experience, you are in the smaller room with a dedicated port wine instructor that is leading you through the tasting. If you're watching this channel, you are probably interested in learning about port wine, and a premium tasting experience, especially when it takes place in a private tasting room, is a much better way to experience that wine and to interact with a very knowledgeable person.
So you are able to fully book and pay for your Sandeman visit tickets online. That's not something that all lodges support. And once you get to the tour page, you just scroll down and you'll see a menu of tours. And even though you're able to do this online, there is one little catch. So let's say you're going to do the Mastering Sandeman Port. You click your book your visit. You tell them how many people are showing up, and then they just give you a calendar. You have to go day by day to see if your particular tour is offered on the day that you would like to go. I really wish it just came up and showed you available dates and times for your tour, but it doesn't do that. So you need to, if you're coming in the week of the 4th, you need to go day by day and see if the tour that you're interested in is offered on that particular day. I really don't think this is the best way to do it, but you are able to complete the purchase online. So one thing that I would like to point out, one of the tour options that they have that is listed on their website is the Mastering Sandeman Port Tour. That is a really unique opportunity. Very few of the port lodges offer something like this. But what this tour is, it's a 3-hour tour for 65 euros. And it is a small group. Now, when I went, I was the only one who signed up. So I got a private 3-hour tour with a high-end tasting in the premium tasting room for 65 euros, and it was worth every penny. They do not have it very often, so you are going to have to spend time digging through that calendar that we talked about before. But hopefully there'll be an opportunity like that when you get here, and then you can take advantage of it. Just to recap, the scoring system that I use, it is a scale of 1 to 5, with 3 being the starting point for everyone. 3 is a solid experience. You got your money's worth. It's something I would recommend to anyone. A 4 is something better is going on, whether it's a better tour location, a better tour guide experience, maybe better offerings as far as tasting options, and it will usually include a premier tasting room, so that if you're paying extra to taste wine that's maybe of a little bit better quality, you get to do it in a nicer location. So based on that criteria, it is very easy for me to give Sandeman's a 4. Not only do they make some great wine, the tour itself is very solid. I've gone on the tour several times in different versions of it, and the guide that I've had each time was extremely knowledgeable, very friendly, very helpful. Couple that with the premier tasting room, which is a very nice setting, and the fact that they offer some really unique tour opportunities, like the mastering Sandeman port options. So it's definitely a 4. Could well be on its way to a 5. Maybe that'll happen next time. But I highly, highly recommend the Sandeman tour. And of course, like always, I recommend that you go for a premium tasting option that's going to put you in that premium tasting room. Again, just a much better experience and a better grade of wine than you're going to get in the big room. If you've been on the Sandeman's tour, let me know your thoughts. Hopefully you also had a good experience and it's something you'd recommend to someone coming to Porto and Gaia. And if you had a less than favorable visits, let me know that too. Just interested in your comments. So please, like always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you find out when we deliver new stuff. And I will see you next time on Learn About Port Wine.